And hello, everyone, and welcome to our ALS United Mid-Atlantic Goals podcast. I'm Tony Heil with ALS United Mid-Atlantic, and I hope you've listened to some past episodes where we've talked about many different perspectives on ALS, from people living with ALS to researchers, our care staff here at ALS United Mid-Atlantic, people who have lost someone to ALS, advocates. There's so many different perspectives and ways that people are connected to this disease, and all of them matter to our overall ALS mission because our goal is to provide quality care, research, and advocacy for those living with ALS and those impacted by it. Today I'm going to talk to my friend Michelle Narin. She's from Placing Stones. We met at our recent Help and Hope event. You can find those videos on our YouTube channel and at our website about all of the sessions we had there with different researchers and care professionals. And Michelle's going to talk about her product, Placing Stones, the website she has, her ALS connection, and how Placing Stones can help with the legacy for people with ALS and build that family connection that we all care about so much. So I'm really excited to share this podcast with her, and I hope you'll learn a lot along the way. Michelle, thank you so much for talking today.
Thank you, Tony, for inviting me.
When we met back at our April 10th Help and Hope event, I noticed a lot of passion and excitement that you had for the ALS cause because it's personal to you, right?
Yes, my sister-in-law Anne was diagnosed with ALS 2.5 years ago, and it really struck a chord as we were building Placing Stones on how this could impact someone living with ALS.
I'm sorry, before she was, did you have any idea or know much about ALS before that diagnosis?
None. I only had heard of Lou Gehrig having it. It was really something I'd never even thought about. I've never heard of anyone having it. Um, I think, like a lot of ALS patients, my sister-in-law, it was hard to get a diagnosis. She went through a lot of different early on symptoms. So she was chasing down different neurologists, ENT physicians to really get a firm diagnosis. And when she was diagnosed with bulbar ALS, that's when her journey with ALS started.
And so obviously you didn't know about ALS, but did you? So you probably didn't know much about bulbar ALS then either, right?
No, no. I mean, early on, we knew Anne was having a lot of problems swallowing,
Hmm.
and she was really choking a lot. So she would be eating, she would be drinking, she'd be having dinner, and she would just start coughing a lot and not able to really get her food down or her words out. So we knew something, but I had never heard of ALS, really anyone having it. And then also bulbar ALS is really a different journey that she's gone through because she lost her ability to speak early on, lost her ability to eat and swallow, really without, aids. So it's been challenging, obviously, for me to watch and our family really to see her journey with ALS. And it's really touched a chord on how really we can impact Anne using placing stones.
So before we get into what you do with placing stones, from your perspective, because you're not a scientist necessarily, right? You're not a researcher working in a lab, though you have a lot of understanding of ALS now, and you have a lot of understanding of how you can help people. How would you describe bulbar ALS and what that means to somebody?
How I understand is that and I'm not a doctor or
Hmm.
researcher, but I think it really, instead of impacting like her limbs on the onset, it really impacts her like cords, so her ability to swallow. So early on, when you lose the ability to swallow, your saliva just builds up. And I think that that impacts talking, it impacts drinking, and it impacts eating. And so it's something, obviously that we take for granted, right? I'm drinking a glass of water, I'm eating my dinner, I'm talking to you, Tony, and I'm able to do that without the saliva building in my mouth. And when you have that saliva early on, and had a suctioning tool that she would use, that she was, bring to the dinner table, bring to the bedroom, bring to the couch, bring in the car. And early on, that's what she was using to really alleviate those symptoms. But as the disease has progressed, she's really had to think and make some big decisions to get a feeding tube, to be able to have, a different suctioning device, at arm's length to use anytime. She has like a code language when she's really, having a hard time swallowing and breathing. She uses like a sign for her caregivers and my brother, who's her husband, to be able to assist. So it's this appreciation that I don't think anyone can actually empathize with unless they have it or if they've seen it in person. So that's my experience with bulbar ALS. It's a very visual and very sad progression. I think when she lost the ability to eat, I think she really kind of took that in different stages. She would eat a little bit socially, but then had a feeding tube. But then when that became just so uncomfortable because of the buildup of the saliva, she ended up just going with full feeding tubes 4 times a day.
Hmm.
And then when she wasn't able to really, we couldn't understand what she was saying. So we recorded her voice. We were really instrumental. She uses adaptive, on her phone, where she can text, where her voice is recorded. So it sounds like Anne, even though she's not talking.
That's incredible, and we couldn't do that 10, 20 years
Mm,
ago
I know.
with people with ALS or other diseases and conditions. So, tell me about placing stones. What exactly is that, and what motivated you to start this? As obviously your connection, but what made you think this is something that we should do?
Okay, so Placing Stones started, my partner Julia Colton and I started Placing Stones 3 years ago. Um, Julie and I both have a shared bond. We both lost our one of our parents when we were teenagers. And for the last 30 years, we've really struggled with this one question. How do we create a legacy for my father and for Julie's mother to stay alive, for us to remember them, and also for our and family members to remember them? Um, we like to say that we all have these shoe boxes in our lives. So we have shoe boxes of treasured mementos of our loved ones that are no longer with us. So we created Placing Stones really to honor people who have lost their loved ones. But once Anne was diagnosed, it was this moment in time where I was like, wait a minute. This is a tool, this is a platform that we can use with people like my sister in law, Anne, and those obviously in the ALS United Mid-Atlantic group that really want to have a voice in creating their legacy. So for my sister-in-law in particular, since she's so close with me, we don't say in-law, we just say my sister.
Hmm?
She wanted to be instrumental in creating her legacy now while she is living. So while she still had the ability to speak, we were able to record Anne's stories, her messages to her loved ones. She was able to tell her loved ones through videos and photos, and text, what her family and loved ones have meant to her. And it's a very collaborative platform. So her loved ones were also able to record their voices, their messages to Anne, so that Anne knows what she has meant to her family and friends and what her family and friends have meant to her. So we started kind of creating Placing Stones really on this one journey, and then it really quickly pivoted, because we realized we could have more of an impact with people who are living with terminal illness, who are really want to create their legacy now and be very instrumental in having a say in what their legacy looks like. So our platform is something that's been very meaningful for me and Julie because it's personal to us. But now we realize it can be a tool that can be so impactful in a different way than we initially intended.
And the website is placingstonestudios.com. And if someone goes there, what are they going to learn about? What are they going to see to make them feel welcome and understand what they can get from this product?
Okay. So when you go to our website, placingstonestudio.com, you will kind of see different profiles of how Placing Stones looks on a mobile phone, on your computer, on your iPad. You'll learn a little bit more about Julie and my story and how we started it. And then, really, what's important is you will see two live samples. You will see Ruth's website and you will see Jason's website. And when you click on those links, you will see their websites. So Ruth is my mom, who is still living, who's almost 95. And 5 years ago, before COVID, we started recording her stories. We started recording, her wishes for me and my siblings, for her grandchildren. What does she want to be remembered? We started taking a lot of photos. We captured all of her recipes and art. She used to paint, so captured her artwork. The tool is very flexible in nature. We have a lot of textual sections. So you'll see on Ruth's website and Jason's website, you'll see their profile photos and then really a biography of them. For
Mm-hmm.
Ruth's website, we created with my brother and sister basically a profile of my mom. Like, what was her bio? My mom really was interactive in telling us what she wanted to be remembered for. My mom was a gardener, the best cook I know. And we really kind of tried to capture the essence of my mom. And then we have media sections. We have photos, we have videos, and we have sound memories. And photos and videos are obviously self-explanatory, very easy, drag and drop, you upload the photos and videos. The sound memories are sound bites. So those on your phone are called voice memos that you can record, someone's voice, you can ask them a question. Early on, a lot of our first users of Placing Stones, they said, oh my gosh, they saw the samples and they said, I wish I would have done this with my parents. I wish I recorded their voices. I want to do it now with my family members. So it really has struck a chord with a lot of people who look at the samples and say, wow, I want to create my family's legacy now. I want to create my sister-in-laws. I want to create my mom's. So it's a way to capture these memories in a way that's different than what the competitors have out there. So if you look up different legacy websites, you will see one common theme. And this common theme is that they focus on one stage of life, and that's kind of the last stage of life. And what Julie and I wanted to do with Placing Stones is it really was two goals. We wanted to show a life well lived, whether that life, like my father ended when he was 60, or like my mom, who is still living and is 94 and really wanted to create their legacy while she was alive. We also wanted to be vibrant. So if you look at the other competitors, they're really kind of just a little bit sad and gloomy. They focus on really kind of the last stage of details of someone's life. If you look at Ruth's and you look at Jason's, their lives kind of pop. They show a life well lived. It's colorful. It's vibrant. And we felt that this was really what we wanted to see in our family's legacies. We wanted to see, my mom with us when we were children and babies. We wanted her to see photos of her and videos of her with her grandchildren. We wanted to capture her recipes, her artwork. The other thing that we've done that has really been well received by our first customers is the memory wall. So it's a very collaborative platform. I can invite friends and families to add videos, all the different media sections, add recipes, add artwork. But in addition, we have a very, I think, a clean and beautiful memory wall. And on this memory wall, Tony, you could share this link to several family and friends if you were creating your own shoebox, as we call them. and really showcase to your family and friends, I'm going to share this link out, and you add your name, your photo, and really just a message to your loved one. So if you look on my mom's website, Ruth's, you'll see that she has memory contributions to her memory wall. These are from her grandkids. These are from her kids. This is from her cousins and her sister. As well on Jason's website. You'll see on Jason's website, Jason is a fictional person living with ALS. And we wanted to kind of showcase this when we went to the symposium in April, because we wanted to show people how it could be a joyful tool to use while you're living with ALS. So in Jason's story, really he was able to capture his words using voice memos, videos, photos, and then in reverse, he shared it with his family and friends to be able to contribute their stories about what Jason has meant to them. What were the videos that were most meaningful? And then obviously to add, to the different sections, the art, the memory wall, at recipes, and so on.
Yeah, you're right that a lot of times we remember people not until it's too late. And I've known people with ALS, people in my own family with different things who we have a lovely tribute to them in their very final weeks, or maybe after they've passed away, and that's very nice and nothing against that. But it's a real testament of love to recognize them when they can be part of it.
Absolutely, and that's the feedback we've received. I actually was talking to someone yesterday about this, and they said what you've done with placing stones is create like a memory bank, but the main person is here to hear it. So we have all these memories of our loved ones, but like for my mom, she's found a lot of joy in creating this website of her life. And so it's been a tool that she's been able to use during this stage of life. And I know with my sister-in-law, it's been very, very, I think it's given her a lot of closure and a lot of joy to be able to create this. So again, her family and friends have really taken the extra step to share their memories with Anne, tell Anne how much she's meant to them, and then Anne has been able to do that in reverse. So, we feel that this is a tool that you can use take it from your tool chest to be able to use really in different stages of your journey with ALS. The one thing I'd like to really emphasize is once you build your loved one's website, it is yours. So we have a subscription fee, we have an annual fee, and we have a one-time fee. And for the ALS United Mid-Atlantic group, we've offered really a 1 year free to get started. The coupon is Strength 2025. And you put that in, you get the 1 year free. If you don't like it after the first year, you can cancel your membership. If you do like it, it's yours. And what that means is, let's say, for your own website, you create, you add your 30 videos, 30 photos, 30 memories, and you decide you want to change them. So let's say you forgot a recipe, you forgot, a photo. You easily just click, edit, you swap it out, you hit save, and your website is live. There's no approval process. There's no wait time. You literally click edit, add your changes, and hit save, and your website is populated. Very easy to use.
And I can see, like, looking at what you have posted about Ruth, because I'm looking at it as you speak. If you have someone with ALS or something else, that whether living with a disease or just whatever reason you want to go through this, and you see their favorite books or artists or movies, you could even just recommend things to them, like, oh, I found another book you'll like, or something by that author, or now when I come to visit, here's what I'll do. Or because we're so all apart in lives right now, like my family lives a few hundred miles from me, so people can connect in a way they wouldn't otherwise. It's kind of like what was good about Facebook before Facebook didn't become
Yeah.
good anymore.
Absolutely. I mean, it really is a collaborative tool. The other thing to note is Julie and I have different backgrounds. So I used to be a hospital social worker, and then I went
Hmm.
into IT, and Julie is a graphic designer. And we really had a few goals in mind. We wanted the interface to be super user friendly. So I don't know if, the group, have you ever tried to make a photo book? And when you try to do that, or even a video that you're trying to, manage or modify, it's time consuming. And there's a lot of decisions to be made. And so what we wanted to do is cut out that decision making. So our goal was to make it very user friendly. So if you were a high tech user or a very low tech user, you'd be able to kind of just follow the instructions, add your text, your video sections, your media sections, your recipe, share it with family and friends, save it, and you're done. Julie's goal was to make it beautiful. We really wanted this to really punch. We wanted it to have life to it. We wanted it to be colorful, but we didn't want the end user to be bogged down with decisions. So when you go into the interface, you'll see when you get done with kind of populating all your media and text, you have four design decision. Do you want, there's four different color themes and four different font themes. You see the samples, you choose one, you save it, and that's your website. But if you decide later, your brother or your sister says, oh, we chose the wrong color theme, or I want to change the font, you just go in, edit it, choose it, save it, and then your website is live again.
And as I can see, also it's a pretty easy URL. So I can see it's like for Ruth, it's placingstudios.com, and placingstonestudios.com with her name at the end of it.
Yep.
So it's something where I know it's hers. It's not just slash some number. It's a
Yep.
human being. And I think that's important. And yeah, you can use this on your phone too. It's easy to look at from your mobile
You
device
can look at it from
and
your
follow
phone.
up. And yeah.
Yep. And the other thing to note is there are two setting changes that you can decide. One is if you want to hide your website from Google search. So if I don't want my mom's to be searchable through Google search, there's a button, hide or don't hide, and then it will
Hmm.
not index it. So it will hide it from the Google search. The other one is if you want to lock down your loved one's website or your website, you lock it down and you give your family members the password. So those are other two settings that we added after a lot of feedback from our first customers.
And so with that feedback, you're able to kind of change things on the website pretty easily on the back end
Yes,
because it's not like a big corporation where you have to go through a lot of steps for approval. If you have people with ALS and their families who say this is too confusing or it's too slow or whatever the challenge is, you guys can make those changes in relatively short form.
exactly. And again, this is something that, we really felt that the process of doing this at a time that may be very sensitive for people who are creating their website, we wanted it to be super easy. We really didn't want it to be complex in nature. So this is something that we really strive for and that our early users have really kind of applauded us for.
Great. So if people are interested in learning more, they should go to placingstonestudios.com. And would they be able to reach out to you with questions? If they
Yes.
email that,
Yeah, if
they'll
you
find you and they can say, like, how we can guide you through the process?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Tony. So, Julie and I are real people. So, when you contact us, it's not going to be a chatbot or, just a AI tool. You be contacting us. And we really want to emphasize that we want to work with ALS United Mid-Atlantic. We want to hear your stories. We want to be able to hear your feedback. If you need help, you want a Zoom session, you want a one-on-one session to get started, we are here to do that for you. We can set up a Zoom, we can set up a training session for you and your family, for you and your loved ones. We want to be able to kind of start creating your Placing Stones website with you if you need the help. Again, it might be a little daunting if you feel like overwhelmed putting together your photos on your desktop, or saving your videos, or dragging and drop. So we want to be able to help you through that process. Just click contact us, and we'll set up a call to be able to help you with that.
Wonderful. So before we're finished here, you did attend the ALS Help and Hope event, ALS United Help and Hope, back in April 2025 here. And tell us about your experience at Help and Hope, the things you heard, anything that felt really encouraging or positive for you from being at that event.
Well, just the warmth. I will tell you the warmth of everybody who put on the symposium, and then everybody who attended it. It seemed to me like a very close community, and I think that's was emphasized throughout the whole symposium, that it is a community of caregivers, families, and people who are living with ALS. There were a lot of laughs. The other thing I love the volunteer program. I thought like that really kind of struck a chord for me. The volunteer program just seemed something like it was something that was utilized in a way that brought so much happiness to this population. I loved all the talk about the resources. I think the grant programs is probably unique to your organization, especially for, I've seen firsthand the just financial burden this has had on my sister-in-law and my brother. I've never heard them speak of, they live in California, these grants to help with their devices, whether it was, a motorized wheelchair or any kind of assisted device. I think that struck a chord for me, just because I know what the cost is right now for my brother and sister-in-law in having, hired help and, buying these devices that aren't covered for insurance. It was just a positive, uplifting symposium. But I think the biggest kind of coup for us was hearing and feeling the warmth of the community.
Right. It's so important, just like with your website, that we have a real connection with people. You see so many things these days where it's just AI, it's a website, or which are fine, but when you know that on the back end and the front end, these are real people. Like you're doing with this project to really highlight the lived experiences of a person beyond their final days. That's
Yeah.
we care about. That's part of our mission. And when you come to ALS United Mid-Atlantic, at alsmidatlantic.org, you're going to talk with a real nurse or social worker. You're going to see real people at your clinic visit. And I think we're very much working together, just like we are with you, Michelle, to do this. So before we end here today, please tell us again about the deal that you can provide for
Yep.
people from the ALS United community so that they can get involved, and because you have a special offer you mentioned already.
So our website is placingstonesstudio.com. If you have any questions about our platform, how to get started, just click on to contact us. We would love to offer your community the first year free. Strength 2025 is the coupon code. We hope you use it. Again, you can cancel it at any time, so you're not obligated to keep going. And then I really feel, because I've been in IT for a long time, I know that it's daunting to start a new technology. If you need assistance, if you want one-on-one training sessions, if you want to get your family together and kind of like kick off, creating this, contact us. You'll be talking to me or Julie. We will walk you through it. We will absolutely kind of be there for questions. Again, we don't have any chatbots or AI, working as our help desk. It's us. So we're passionate about placing stones. We want your stories to live. We want to be able to help you create your digital legacy.
That's a wonderful way to end this here today, Michelle. It's a real human touch, and we're glad that we can highlight Placing Stone Studios. We'll put the link in the offer in the description below, and on here on our YouTube and on our podcasting sites. Thank you so much, Michelle. I wish you the best of luck, and I hope
Thank
people will
you.
reach out from the broader ALS community, because we are always in contact with people all over the country about supporting people with ALS. Again, my name is Tony with ALS United Mid-Atlantic. If you're interested in learning more about ALS, our programs and services, and how to support our mission, please visit alsmidatlantic.org. Thank you so much, Michelle, and
Thank
we
you,
look forward
Tony.
to working together.
Yeah, thank you so much.